Excel has a neat feature. It's called the Scenario Manager. Have you ever had a bunch of scenarios in your mind? Like, for example, I got my worksheet here. If I increase my marketing by, let's say, 10,000, and I think that perhaps we can increase our revenue, that's one scenario. What if I increase it by 20,000? We'd increase more revenue. In other words, if I need to make a presentation or be able to see all these scenarios, I have to delete the data, type it in, then delete it, type it back in to be able to keep track of everything. Well, again, Excel has a scenario manager that can keep track of all this. It's pretty neat. So to get started, what I'm going to do is I want to go ahead and select all the expenses and control click all the revenues. I want to include that in my scenarios. So if I make any changes like salaries go up, our revenues go down. Rent goes up, revenues go down. So you get the idea. So I have my expenses and my revenues that I want to be able to create scenarios for. So I'm only selecting those cells that I want to be able to create scenarios or make changes and be able to take a snapshot of that and create, well, as many as I'd like without having to delete this and type in new numbers every time and keeping track of everything. We'll let Excel do that. So once I've selected those cells that I want to change, come up here, click on the Data tab, go to the Data Tools group, click on the What If analysis, and we'll go ahead and select Scenario Manager. It's going to manage all this for us. So I've got the ranges that I want to make changes to. I'll click Add. Then it says, okay, what's the scenario name for what you have here? Well, it's going to be my original. In other words, just the way it is, the way we have it now. And then it says by changing which cells. Well, I've already selected my ranges here. If I didn't, I would click on the collapsible dialog box button and select this range, control click that range, or just type it like you see it here. Type in B5 through B9 or colon, comma, another range, colon, another range. You can add as many ranges as you would like. And then any comments down below, we can go ahead. Well, it says created by me. That's fine, we'll say. Then when we're finished, we click OK. And then it says, OK, enter the values for the cells you have selected. Well, this is my originals, so I don't want to change them. Go ahead and click OK. There's the first scenario. It's our original. No change. I'm going to go ahead and click Add and add our second scenario, and we'll say it's going to be advertising, which is still going to affect the ranges here. So I'm not going to change the range of cells here. And of course down here I can delete this and say small advertising push for 2011. Go ahead and click OK. Then it says fine. If you're going to increase it by 10%, which is going to be, well, the marketing, advertising, it's going to be B8. Instead of 50,000, if it's going to be 10% of that, an increase, then let's go ahead and do 55,000. Now, when we increase that, my mind says, okay, we increase advertising, we should increase some of our revenue. So these are cells E5, it looks like E6. In other words, just go ahead and scroll down. There they are, 400,300. Let's say our scenario brings us up to maybe, for both the Team North and the Team South, maybe Team South, the advertising isn't as, or doesn't fare as well. In any case, when I'm done, I can click OK. So I have my original, I have my advertising push. Let's do one more. Let's do something really large. Let's do 25. Click OK. So I think that means for our marketing, 50,000 will be, if I'm guessing this right. Okay, and then like I said, it's just a bunch of scenarios I'm playing out in my mind that I want Excel to keep track of in the Scenario Manager. For the sake of keeping these numbers even, so you get the gist of it, we'll just increase it up by 100 grand. Click OK. Now if I want to go ahead and see these, just select one. Let's do the advertising push by 10% and click Show. Changes the numbers, and if I'm like, oops, I need to go back to the original, go ahead and select Original. Instead of 55,000 for marketing, I can go ahead and click Show. Goes back to the original numbers. I mean, really cool, very slick. I don't have to delete, type it in, and then delete, type it in. If I'm giving a presentation, you know, my boss is going, hey, what if we do 25% increase? What are your estimates on revenue? Go ahead and click Show. Now, this is nice, but this thing is cumbersome. In other words, it gets in the way, especially if you have a lot of data here. So what I recommend doing is once you create your scenarios, go ahead and close out and customize your quick access toolbar by right-clicking on it, going down to Customize, and then clicking on the drop-down arrow to All Commands, and scroll down to the S's for Scenarios. And there it is. You've got your Scenario Manager and your scenarios with the little arrow. The arrow means you can click on the drop-down arrow and on the fly just choose the scenarios listed. We already know where the Scenario Manager's at. Let's double-click on that. Click OK. Click on the drop down arrow, and then we can just toggle back and forth between this without having that big huge window in front of us. And then when I'm finished and I want to make some changes or updates or delete it, of course we're back to our Data tab, to the Data Tools group, our What If, Scenario Manager, and of course you can go ahead and delete them, select them, edit them, make changes to it, click OK, if you need to make changes in the name, and then when you click OK it pulls you into the value part, where you can update, make changes to the values, click Cancel. In any case, we can go ahead and delete all those, close out, click off in a blank area. To get rid of that up here, right click on it and say Remove from the Quick Access toolbar. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel to get notified of the latest videos. And for great specials on my products, please see the description below this video.